This is Clarence and Drew Talkin Cowboys. This week, Cowboys had their second OTA week out at the Star. Big news, Nolan Carroll, they had practice this week. He was busted with DWI downtown Dallas. It's the second time in the past 2 weeks the Cowboys have a negative suspension that's going to be looming for this team. David Irving suspended for the first 4 games of next season because of PED use. Now Carroll will likely be suspended for 2 games for DUI.
Yeah, and Clarence, this is kind of a trend that's been going on for the last few years when you look at from Randy Gregory to Greg Hardy to Rolando McClain. The list goes on, and the Cowboys have been kind of accustomed to these defensive guys, serving suspensions. But with that being said, Coach Jason Garrett still very supportive of these 2 players, David Irving and Nolan Carroll. It seems like, you never want to make excuses for guys, but it seems like, just bad choices, bad decisions, but not really a reflection of their character. And Jason Garrett, wouldn't say whether or not there will be internal discipline, but certainly 2 key guys the Cowboys are going to miss early on.
Well, the thing with Nolan Carroll, hits home the DWI because of 2012 Josh Brent and his intoxication, manslaughter, death of Jerry Brown. That hits home for this Cowboys team. Drinking while driving, certainly they lost a key player. They take that seriously. Again, they think that that's an aberration for Nolan Carroll based on his character throughout his career. They're going to give him some leeway. They're going to stick by him this time. But what's also true is that he's on a short leash now. The Cowboys loaded up at his position in the draft, and here's the guy who signed a 3-year, $10 million contract. But if all things are equal, and you're not better than those young guys, and you do have this black mark on you, you can be cut.
Oh yeah, there's no question. And they're not, when you put yourself in those situations, you certainly, like you said, the leash gets shorter. Just look at Joseph Randle went from starting running back to off the team in the middle of the season in 2015. So, the Cowboys have shown that they're not afraid to cut bait if you go out of line. And certainly Nolan Carroll, if his play justifies the spot, I think they'll obviously keep him around. But like you said, they do have depth there and some interesting rookies to keep an eye on throughout this summer.
And one thing that should be noted when you talk about these missteps by these players. Players will have missteps. People have missteps. This is not a situation of Jason Garrett being hypocritical and it's having the right kind of guy mantra. These guys generally have been good guys throughout their career. Certainly look at David Irving. He's done everything right. This was a mistake by David Irving. It certainly was a serious mistake by Nolan Carroll. But if you look at the Cowboys and the players they have on this team, they have 100% participation in the offseason program dating back to when they started working out, lifting weights and just doing the conditioning to now with OTA practices in a time when we all know this is voluntary. As Darren Henry once said, what voluntary means, we don't have to be there. Well, these Cowboys are here. They've been here from the beginning, and that speaks volumes about the type of guys they have on this team and what they care about.
Right, and I think it also goes to show that they're not taking anything for granted. They're coming off a 13-3 season, winning the division title. They're kind of pegged as favorites. A lot of people have them, as Super Bowl contenders, and rightfully so. But Jason Witten was talking the other day about eliminating that outside noise and just focusing on them. I think that goes a long way to show that, hey, no one's taking their job for granted. No one's taking their place for granted in terms of being another 13-3 team. They all know they have to work to do, and that's shown up with the participation level in OTAs.
Another person who's excited about what they're doing and sort of their presence about what they're doing, and his presence is Cowboys receiver Dez Bryant. He has not been a part of the offseason program for the last 2 years. Before the 2015 season, he was in a contract dispute. He didn't participate in the offseason program. Last year, he was coming off of foot surgery, so he didn't get a chance to participate in the offseason program. This is his first full offseason program since 2014. He's excited to be out there. He believes he's going to bounce back and be one of the top players at receiver in the NFL, back where he was in 2014 when he was averaging 88 balls a year from 2012 to 2014. But it's not just about Dez and getting back. It's also his feeling about this team. He says this is the best team he's been a part of since being with the Cowboys. That includes their 12-4 2014 team.
Right. Well, that's obviously the optimism around the locker room right now. And I think, I think you make an argument Dez Bryant's one of the most important players on this Cowboys team to bounce back. The gap between Dez Bryant and Terrence Williams is pretty big. Terrence Williams hasn't really emerged as the #1 receiver when Dez has been out. So I think, the gap there, Dez Bryant needs to stay healthy. He needs to be that deep threat. He needs to be that guy where, when you break the huddle, the defense points to number 88, hey, let's focus on him, and it keeps some pressure off Ezekiel Elliott and some of those other guys so they can be more versatile and have more weapons.
And one thing that Dez made clear was that the Pied Piper of this team, the leader of this team, is quarterback Dak Prescott. Dez said when Dak shows up and Dak walks out, we follow. And it's been a smooth transition from Tony Romo's team to Dak Prescott's team. The rookie sensation has made the transition to franchise, the face of the franchise this offseason, and he's looking to build on that.
Yeah, well, and if you're the Cowboys, I mean, you can never have envisioned this type of scenario. The first year without Tony Romo on the roster, and they're still Super Bowl contenders. There is no rebuilding year. There's no gap in trying to find a quarterback or franchise quarterback. I mean, it's been a seamless transition from Tony Romo to Dak Prescott, and you know, I think Dak Prescott's done everything right so far in terms of how he's handled himself in the locker room and obviously on the field, and just kind of being that guy people can gravitate to. So I think the Cowboys, you know, Jason Witten was, you know, saying he couldn't envision a transition like this with quarterbacks because, as we all know, most teams go through a little building or rebuilding phase once they lose a guy like Tony Romo.
Clarence and Drew Talkin Cowboys.